So, good morning, daily racers. First of all, thank you for joining us this morning. We're live here from Belgium, and during this session I'll try to answer as many questions as possible via Formula Santander fan page. So please be so kind, specify who you are, specify from where you're from, and we'll soon kick off. And before I forget, at the end we'll have a small challenge out of from daily life. I try to do something that everybody has been doing before in less than 1 minute. So I would say let's start our engines and let's start with the questions. First question is from Rosanna Cavalho. What do you do on a race day? Well, on a race day, I race. Apart from that, obviously, there's a lot of meetings to prepare the race, so it's actually quite a busy day. From waking up really to the checkered flag. I follow a certain routine, try to do the same things every time before getting in the car, and then obviously as soon as the lights go off, try to race. Next question we have from Michael O'Mahony. Out of Formula One, what would you say is your daily race and why? Well, I think out of Formula One I have calmed down a bit, so I'm not trying to race everything and everyone, but daily race, I don't know, normal life. As I said, I've calmed down, but for example, in the supermarket when you have to queue, I try to find a way to jump the queue or avoid the queue or race other people towards the queue, little stuff like that, so you get an idea. Next one, we have Pedro Enrique. Who are your idols and the ones that you're inspired by? Well, obviously my biggest idol is Michael Schumacher, and I think he's been a big inspiration when I was a child, and to some extent obviously still is, and therefore it's dreadful to see that he's still fighting to get his life back. But I think we have all fingers crossed and wish him all the best. Next one, Belén Castaneda. My son is 8 years old and he drives go-kart. His question: how do you concentrate and prepare yourself before each race? Well, I think if he's 8 years old, he shouldn't be worrying about finding the right concentration yet. I think the main thing is that he enjoys, and if he enjoys, I think he's happy to go racing. Then he will also be focused. So I think your job as a parent is to make sure that your son enjoys what he's doing. Next one, we have Benjamin Garcia Mercado. What does Ferrari mean for you, and why did you decide to become a driver for the Scuderia Ferrari? Well, I think Ferrari is the biggest team in Formula One, and I think as a driver, I was obviously very, very successful in the recent years, but I think driving for Ferrari is something special, has always been a dream of mine. I've mentioned that Michael is my idol, so obviously he won a lot of titles in red, as it is a dream of mine to not just win the championship again, but specifically win the championship with Scuderia Ferrari. Obviously I decided to make a move. I think, obviously we're not yet where we want to be, but I'm very sure and confident that the way we're lined up, we'll get there in the future. Next one, Aaron Gonzalez. What do you think is needed to become a professional driver and to improve yourself every day? Well, I think first of all you need some talent, obviously, otherwise it's going to be quite difficult. Then you need the support, especially when you're young. I think you need to start when you're a very young age to develop sort of feeling and also develop that talent that you have. And then, most importantly, I think you need to have some amount of discipline and hunger that ultimately drives you day by day and trying to improve yourself. So on track, obviously, there's always stuff that you can learn, trying to find different racing lines, etc., trying to do something new, something different, go in places where maybe other people haven't gone before, and outside the track try to get better understanding of what's happening in the car, become fitter, all those things. So in the end, I think it's the passion to win that drives you. Next one, Daniel Weiler. What do you think is the most challenging part of being a professional driver? The driving. But actually, a part of the driving is also the most fun part, but there's a lot of other stuff like this that yeah, is part of the job, but trying to get everything done, especially in a race weekend where there's a lot of people asking a lot of things, and trying to prioritize, I think is actually one of the most difficult jobs in order to function, to really be focused before you step in the car. Jorge Vasquez is asking, what do you admire personally and as a driver from your teammate Kimi? Well, I think first of all I get along very well with him, and maybe admire sounds like a lot, but I think it's great to see that he hasn't changed in all those years in Formula One. He's been very open when I came in as a young driver without any name, and since then he really has been the same. So I think that's big part of Kimi, that he doesn't change who he is. Alex Juarez, how do you think the car and the team is going to perform in the second part of the season? Well, it's difficult to predict, but I think there's a lot of things going on in the factory, and we should be able to make some decent steps forward. The question obviously is how much other people improve as well, but I'm sure that we definitely have a word in the second season, and obviously we're aiming for the first win, so fingers crossed there should be some good tracks coming for us. Tristan Perry Owens asks if there was anything you could add to Cars Rules track to improve, and what would it be? Well, I've been quite noisy about the fact that I don't like the sound of the cars these days. I think they are far too complicated, too technical. I think it's good to be always on the edge in terms of Formula One being the edge of technology, but actually I think we should simplify, so we should have more cylinders, at least double the amount, and more noise. I think also the stuff on the steering wheel should be simplified, and it should be more focused on driving rather than making the machine run in the back, but fortunately we're not making the rules. Now we have questions in real time, so freshly coming in from Spain, Alan Rubini, what is the toughest obstacle you have faced in your life? Well, I think obviously in racing you face obstacles every weekend, but the toughest one is if things are not going your way. So I had tough seasons. I think 2006 was not a great season for me, which has been a bit up and down in Formula 3. I wanted to win the championship, didn't achieve it, finished second, so I had a bit of a down after that. I think other than that, in Formula 1, obviously 2014 hasn't been a fantastic year for me. It was a bit difficult right from the start and never really seemed to get better. But I think then it's important to know what you're doing, know where you're going, and just keep on believing in yourself. From Mexico, we have Jose Manuel Garcia. How did you celebrate your first championship? I remember everything because I didn't drink a single bit, except plenty of water. I think I was maybe too young to enjoy some drinks after the race. So we had a nice party right by the track in Abu Dhabi, which obviously was a great day, big surprise for all of us, and we had a great time afterwards with the team and family. From Brazil, Carolina Mejia, what's the best tip you have received? Well, I would say that remember to enjoy, which sometimes you're so busy, there's so many things going on. I think it's important to remember why you're here, why you're doing it, and definitely for the fun of driving. So that's I think one of the best things people have said to me. Now, that has been the questions, I guess. Now it's time to move on to our challenge from daily life. So I have some gift paper. I have a Ferrari model cars box, some tape and scissors. So the challenge is to wrap the present in less than 1 minute. I have to stand up and try to do that. So we have the time. 3, 2, 1, go. Much have to be beautiful, it just has to be done. So. I think they manipulated the scissors. Didn't work. There we go. Only 30 seconds left. That's the underside. See. There you go. 7 seconds still left. Not very pretty. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and obviously keep your fingers crossed for our race this weekend in Belgium, and support this career for us. Thank you.